Don't do anything with that computer. Shut it off. Messy, Hey,
How are you?
good, good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Dallas, you have four people. You have
Yeah.
a quorum.
Oh, I have a quorum? Okay. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody?
Good evening, everyone.
How you doing, Phil?
Good, Dallas. Thank you.
Good. Okay, so everybody got a copy of the proposed agenda. We got 3 items on it. So which one do we want to do first? Does everybody have a copy of the proposed agenda?
Dallas, this was a revised one because we got an item from BSA.
Oh, there's a revised one. I didn't see it.
Yeah, there's 4 items now.
Oh, there's 4 items now.
Yes. But one of the items is the liquor license. So there really is 3 items, to be honest with you.
Okay, so trying to download it. What's the other item? Oh, the other one is a BSA too. Okay, so which item we want to go on first? Community coordinator for the mayor's office, or the construction work proposed for the roof of the Bushwick Branch Library?
Doesn't really matter. Whichever you want to go right down the list. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Why don't we go with the library and then go with the Brooklyn Community Coordinator, and then we'll go with the BSA,
Perfect.
and then we'll have the liquor license.
Couldn't be easier.
Okay. Does anybody else, does everybody agree with that?
Dallas, this is Dell. I haven't been able to find where that agenda is. I looked for it. I don't know. So I don't know what the BSA item is.
It's
Well,
114 Kingsland Avenue.
Yeah, block 2040, lot 3. This is an application for use variance filed pursuant to section 72-21 on the zoning resolution of the city of New York. ZR seeking a variance with ZR sections 46-00 within an M1 zoning district to permit development of 4-story, 45 tall, 5,210 feet, 47 square feet. I'm reading this on my phone, so it's difficult.
Okay.
Residential use building at the premises. The proposed building would have 8 residential condominium units, 2 on each floor, and a cellar. The premises has 2,393.95 square feet of lot area and is located in M1-1 zoning district, whereas residential use are not permitted as of right. So that'll be item number 3.
Okay.
Liquor license be item number 4.
Okay.
Okay, can I get a vote to agree to this agenda?
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that, Dallas. Philip.
Okay, very good. Motion been made and second that we adopt these items for our March 9th meeting. Is there anything else? Anything else to add?
Yes, I wanted to ask something. Somebody asked this at the board meeting in the chat, and I thought it was a good idea. Can we have non-board committee members be able to come in as panelists at the full board meeting? Since they come to the committee and they vote on the items.
It's up for discussion.
I think that's a good idea, Del. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I felt last time,
Mhm.
I felt that last time it was kind of awkward because I have 4 non-board members on my committee. 3 of them are very active,
Mhm.
and they weren't able to participate, you know, in the discussion when we brought it for a vote.
I think that's a great idea, to be honest with you. It's a very
Okay.
good idea. The more, I believe we get a lot of pushback because people cannot get in. I think the more people we bring in as panelists, just is better for everybody involved.
Yeah,
It's more transparent. It just makes us look better. So
I agree.
I think that's a great idea. Great idea.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Can I have a motion to adapt that idea?
I make a motion.
Okay. Anybody second it?
I second it.
Okay, Gina. So we'll see if we can adapt that into the WebEx program that we're using. Is there anything else? Is there any other topics anybody have to discuss?
All
Hearing
good.
none, hearing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, wait, I did want to bring one thing up. I was going to schedule my meeting, the capital budget expense meeting, and I spoke with Dell, and Dell, you said that March 10th would work for you, or?
Yes.
Yes, so we're thinking March 10th would be the meeting, the committee meeting.
Okay, well, call the office and talk to Maria and see if that date is available.
Oh, okay, so I'll go via Maria, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if that date's available.
And then I send the meeting notice to the committee members.
You send Maria, you send your agenda to Marie and she'll post the agenda items.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, send her an email and tell her what your agenda item is and she'll put it on the, she'll put it up for you.
okay. All right, so
Okay?
I'll speak to Marie. Okay, thank you.
I
You're
have a
welcome.
question.
Yes.
This question is for Del Teague. Did we agree with Rabbi Niederman on what we're doing on next week? Is it next week?
It's March
March
1st.
Uh-huh.
Yes, there's gonna be a joint meeting, and then he won't have to have his own, he won't have to have yet another meeting that week.
On the 3rd.
Right.
Okay, but I realized that my email was confusing. I was writing in haste. And I shouldn't do that. I wasn't paying attention. So I was just writing and sending because he asked me to speak with you about if it was okay with you, if he just brought on his agenda items and dealt with them during your space, which is the March 1st meeting. But I guess you said yes.
Yeah,
Right, and
I think he only has one thing. That's what he said. So,
And the thing that we're going to discuss in unison is the equity situation.
yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't think he's going to be present, but okay. Or he may be present because he asked me the other day if I could chair the housing committee meeting.
Simon, you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Simon.
Hello.
Hi, Simon, how you doing? Okay, is there anything else?
I just want to say that after I spoke at the board meeting and told people that that people who had not come to our committee meeting for the last few months, that if I didn't hear from them, that I would then send an email and inform them that I would have no choice but to ask the chair to remove them. The only person I heard from was Rob Solano, who apologized, said he had had COVID and people in his family had had it, and that he, but that he would be attending the meetings. And there are a bunch of other people. I don't know if they're people that would like to make sure that stay on the committee, like SOFA and
Did you send the email?
Events. I'm
Did you
going to,
send-
no, I'm going to send it. I wanted to see if Simon had any thoughts
but
about
if
these
you-
other people.
If you want to give me their names, because it's very interesting. Sometimes there's so much mail coming, sometimes they get confused, coming from you or not. So if you want, I could reach out to some members that I'm sure do not want to be taken off the committee. You know what I mean?
Well, they haven't been to a committee meeting. The people on SOFA came to one. The others have not been to one of these committee meetings since, for maybe
More
6
than a year.
months. Maybe a year.
Hey, Alice, I'm sorry to interject, but there was a motion, but it was seconded, but it was never stated and voted on.
Simon, can you put yourself on mute? I think there's a lot of background noise.
Okay, yeah, I'll put myself on mute. I'm sorry. Okay.
So Simon, we've got,
Dal, did you hear what Marie said?
no,
The motion was made and seconded, but it wasn't voted on. So we need to do that again.
okay, so we made that motion.
You want to restate it?
Which one was it? Is this the one where we will, where people, non-board committee members will be able to participate as panelists?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
That was voted on because Phil made the motion, Gina seconded.
Oh,
Right.
It was a motion, but no vote.
Oh, yeah. Okay, want to redo it? Or you want to state it and we'll redo it?
I make a motion that non-board committee members be permitted to attend the full board meetings as panelists.
And I would like to second that motion.
Is there a second?
Phil Kavanagh, second.
Oh,
Okay, Gina, you second it?
I second it.
Okay, all in favor? Everybody in agreement?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
So, Simon, SOFA, and Indig,
I was having trouble with Sonia. I'm here.
Hi, Sonia.
so Simon, these are people who haven't attended.
Can you repeat the meeting? Repeat the names again. Indig?
SOFA, Isaac SOFA,
Right.
Indig,
Right.
Katz.
Right.
Are these people you could reach out to?
Yeah. So what we'll do is I'll reach out to him, and if I can't get a positive answer, I will advise you, and we will remove them.
Great.
Or
Thank you.
we'll ask others to attend. Oh, yeah.
I really hope Mr. SOFA will be attending, because he's really, in the past, he was very, very reliable. I don't know what has happened.
Yeah, but you know, as you see what's going on with COVID and everything,
Yeah.
So everybody has his, a lot of, in a simple way, a lot of meetings. It's Zoom, it's easier, but the other side, everybody's personal life is much more responsibilities, family, this and that. Everybody has his, but anyway, no, it's, if they can't attend, they should be removed. I agree.
Thank you. All right, that's all I have.
Okay, does anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I want to do is make it a suggestion that anybody who wants to have a committee meeting, the agenda has to be put out, and not just have a meeting with no agenda. So I want to go. The point is that there was a women's meeting. It was just no agenda put out, and anybody, whatever was on their mind, brought up the issues there. One was a park issue, one was a housing issue, COVID people watching with masks issue. This doesn't belong in a women's meeting. I think that a women's meeting, let it stick to the issue, and this is a focus on women's issues, but not everything. If you heard the meeting was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Or 2 days ago? Anything was on the mind. And so Victoria, she was busy with the housing issues, the elevator problem. The other guy was busy with the masks, with the Hasidim. The other guy was busy with the park issue. So, it has to be an agenda that the women's issue, fine, but let's stick to the issue. And let it be clear what they're going to discuss. It's not fair also to discuss the issue that's not an agenda that some board members may have to talk about. So it's important that the agenda should be put out before they miss up a meeting. That's all.
I thought that it couldn't even be posted unless the agenda was.
Yeah, but she didn't put what's on the agenda. She just said it's a woman's issues. I mean, you gotta talk about something, And I think we should vote on this. I mean, I don't know, vote, but we should vote on it. But it should be an agenda.
I never submitted my agenda.
Simon, I'm like Dell. I was under the impression you can't even get your board meeting put on the.
Not true, because I haven't sent my agenda. Not true, and it's posted.
I'm gonna say something, even though.
Just remember, my meeting is next week.
And also, I'm going to say something that I don't know maybe what you like about that, but there's one board member that she was constantly bashing the police, bashing the police, or, whatever she could, all the time bashing the police. But we had the sergeant there, the inspector from 94, and I apologize to him. I don't like the constantly police bashing that was going on the last meeting. And I strongly oppose that, but that's besides the point. I don't want to go on record about that. But the main thing is there should be an agenda. That's basically, you can't just have a meeting and talk about nothing. Or you got to talk something. It has to be out there,
Okay, but what we can do is I would suggest that we send out an email to the committee chairs and tell them they have to have an agenda to be put agenda item. And it has to be in the office at a certain date. Otherwise, they cannot have that meeting on that particular date. They don't have it, and we don't have an item to post for the agenda.
Right.
But I've been told that I could not get my meeting posted unless there was an agenda.
Well, Dale, what he's saying is some people are not following the rules, so now we have to reinforce it.
No, I understand that. I agree with that. But maybe Marie can, can chime in here, because I thought that we could not. I thought it was impossible to have our meeting posted unless Marie had an agenda to put on the website.
I think what we should do now is vote on this item. That way we can send a letter, and that way it'll be reinforced. We've always told people to send us your agenda items so it can go on your agenda, because if you don't have the item on your agenda, then people don't know what the meeting is about. From now on, if we send a letter and people know, when we send an email and people know that they got to get us an agenda to put on the meeting notice, otherwise you can't have your meeting.
Can Jerry respond to this? Because it was my understanding that.
Somebody need to mute themselves.
Is Jerry here? Jerry, could you respond?
What's the question?
Well, I was told that we cannot get our committee meetings posted on the website until there's an agenda.
The board chair has advised us that all the meetings will be posted on the website because people from the community were complaining that they did not have notice.
Okay. Okay, I'm not against that. I just wanted to get it straight because I mean, if you know, I didn't know that that had been changed. I had actually been asking that we at least have a save the date if we don't have the agenda, but I never heard back on you know the result of that.
Well, we do, it is to save the date. It's posted.
Okay, I see. It's a save the
No.
date. Okay.
Del,
It takes
wasn't your
time for
question?
us to get the notice up because we don't do the posting. We provide the information to do it. Do It does the posting.
Right.
Unfortunately, Jan's meeting the other night never provided an agenda. So the meeting went forward without an agenda. And from what I'm told, there were so many things discussed that had nothing to do per se with the Women's Issues Committee.
And of course, I agree with Simon that that can be a really big problem because people need to be on notice what's going to be discussed at the agenda of these various committee meetings so they can know whether they want to attend.
Absolutely.
So it's a,
But that's why I'm saying now we need to send out an email and reinforce that from now on, since this happened, nobody can have a meeting if they don't provide us with an agenda item.
I think what you should do is have a meeting with the executive committee and all the committee chairs because we've sent out emails before and they fall on deaf ears.
I'm submitting mine right now. I'm not gonna be in trouble.
and you know, maybe Dallas, you want to make this announcement at the full board because I think that if it's made clear that the committee chair is not doing anybody any favors by going ahead with a meeting that doesn't have a posted agenda, then maybe they'll understand that this is a disservice to the community who has a right to know what is on the agenda for the various committee meetings, you know?
Well, you know, even though a committee can post an agenda item, that doesn't stop them from discussing other topics.
That's true, but it's not an official discussion, and I think, you know, and I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're right. You can't just, you know, say, well,
So
they're not allowed to
give it a-
speak about this or that. But for the most part, I think we have to put people on notice of what the official agenda is.
Simon, you have something you want to say?
Yeah, just 1 second. I'll just in a room here. I'm going walking out the room. 1 second, I'm sorry.
Well, while we're waiting for Simon, there is also committee chairs. And there's one in particular. I'm not going to mention names, but that person changes the agenda the night before the meeting or adds something to the agenda the night before the meeting. And it's constantly happening with this person.
Jerry, is it because there are occurring like at the last minute
No, they're
that
not
warrant
emergency
immediate attention?
issues. They're not emergency issues that need
I
to be-
can't hear for what, I don't know if it's me or if it's volume.
No,
They're not-
Jerry, it's hard to hear you, Jerry.
How about now? They're not
That's
immediate.
fine.
They're not. I didn't have my mic pulled down in front of my face. I apologize. They're not items that require immediate attention. They're just last minute. Oh, maybe I should discuss this too. You know. And it's a constant problem with this person because then people call us up the next day and say, "Oh, I didn't know that was going to be discussed at this meeting." And like Del said, people have the right to know what's going to be discussed. If something comes up as an emergency, fine. If something comes up that has to be voted on immediately, fine. But if it doesn't have to be voted on immediately, then it could be discussed at the meeting and it could be put on the agenda for the next meeting. You know.
Right. Absolutely.
So I want to say, can I say a point?
Go ahead, Simon.
Okay, my point was, I wanted to give an example. Victoria, she came into the women's meeting, and she was talking about an elevator issue. I didn't have the answer, and I called Mr. Gross, and I said, please come onto the line, and please explain what's going on in the independent housing. So he came onto the line, and he explained the whole situation and cleared up the whole issue. So this shows you that yes, the board members want to know what every meeting, what any committee is discussing. So I'm able to be there and answer. The issue of the masks, Jan reached out to me personally and asked me to come to join the meeting, but she didn't say, it wasn't on the agenda, you know what I mean? So again, I came because I knew she told me she was going to discuss this issue, and I cleared up the situation. But other issues have to be, as we spoke before. I don't want to repeat myself. Okay. No.
Simon, I couldn't hear very clearly what you said. Are you talking about issues that are brought from the public, not necessarily from the committee?
No, I'm saying, as I said, I gave an example of what happened in the last meeting, that we discussed an issue that I went and called one of the board members to answer a complaint about the elevators and independence housing. So I'm saying that's why it shows you black and white why board members and all the general public want to know what's going to be discussed at a committee meeting. I just give an example of what we're talking about. Just understand what's not just I'm making up an I'm showing you live situation that happened 2 days ago. So if you understand, we should make aware all the chairs that they have to have an agenda, what they're going to be discussing at the committee meetings. You got that?
Yeah, thank you, Simon. Is there anything else? So are we gonna vote to send an email to the chairs and tell them they have to have their agenda items on? Or there will be no, I don't know why we got so much echo. Should we send an email to the chairs and tell them that they must get us and give a cutoff time as when the agenda item should be in the office so it can be placed on the website? Otherwise, there'll be no meeting if there's no agenda? Or something to that effect.
Right.
So
I
it's
guess
gonna be
nobody wanna
posted-
do it.
So it's gonna
Hello?
be posted as per the schedule, but if there's no agenda, then it's going to be canceled?
Yes. If there's no item on the agenda. But like Simon is saying, it seemed like there was no agenda and this meeting was a free for all. It seemed like a lot of issues that was discussed in the women's issue. Some of them should have been discussed in the other committee meetings, whereas they were discussed in the, like the housing issue. That's not a, like I said, that's not a women's issues, unless something happened to a woman in some housing. I don't know. But it seemed like people are discussing and everything that should be discussed in other committees.
It's a committee meeting. It's not an affinity group. If people want to hang around and
Hello?
chat, that's a different type of meeting.
Hello?
I agree. I agree with what's been said. There has to be an agenda. It's not just a meeting just to meet. Otherwise, you could have better use of the time.
Yeah, I think that Jerry had a point, Madam Chair, because it's been done in the past. They've been received the email. They've received, notification. I think the next step is to meet with the chairs of each committee and either maybe a Zoom meeting or something with the chairs, like the same thing we do, and let them know, hey, this is what's going on. And we, because a lot of the committee chairs are the first to scream out that our residents and the community residents can't be in the meeting. They're always talking smack about the way the process we're doing. So I think it's time for you to just do a meeting with them, either Zoom or some kind of way to conference call or something to really talk to each chair. That's what I believe.
Can I please ask people to stop referring to our meetings on Zoom because we can't use Zoom? We can't have Zoom meetings.
Sorry, I had a Zoom. I
just need the laughs. I just need the laugh, Sonia.
Madam Chair, I had a Zoom meeting before this. I'm exhausted, girlfriend. I was having trouble signing in. I'm just a mess today. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. Everybody refer to, you know, they say a meeting, they say a Zoom meeting. Everybody say a Zoom meeting. I understand.
I'm
It's
raising my
working, it's
hand.
working.
I'm raising my hand. Something else that would be good to bring up is that the burden shouldn't always be on the committee chair to come up with reasons for a meeting. Tom Burrows runs he chairs the public safety and human, whatever, such a long title. And what he usually does is that he sends out an email to all of the committee members and he asks the members, is there a reason to meet? Do you have any agenda items? Is there anything you want to cover? If there's nothing that nobody wants to cover, then let's cancel this meeting. So it's not always on his shoulder to come up with agenda items. It's a committee and the committee should be, you know, carrying that load as well and bringing stuff to the table. It should, you know what I mean?
You're right, and generally, you know, sometimes with committees, you know, people are in a meeting, then they'll ask the committee, is there any item we want to discuss at our next meeting? But I noticed some people saying, you know, and that's what you should do. Reach out to your committee, either that or somebody got an agenda item, they should get to the chair and say, we should have this item. It shouldn't be left up to the chair to come up with the item. It's up to the whole committee to come up to with the item. But that's where the chair's leadership come in at.
You gotta help the chair.
No, I want to make a point. I see Transportation Committee. Maybe if I'm wrong, I'm not sure, but it seems sometimes that he maybe I'm wrong, but he's always discussing this issue of open streets. It's been on the agenda for the last 3-4 months. Again, it's an important issue, but it's not every month there's so much news about it. So maybe the chairs have a pressure of having a meeting, so they gotta know if there's no agenda, then they don't have to meet. You know, they don't have to meet. There's no agenda to meet. You know what I mean? There's not a pressure to have a meeting. You know what I mean?
I also think that there should be a limit on the amount of time for the committee reports. I think those committee reports should be restricted, time restricted. Seriously, you lose people. You lose people when the report goes on and on and on and on and on.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, you know, and that's why, you know, we have to have a roll call vote on all the committee reports because we don't know if we still got a quorum. People leave. There's no way. When I do the roll call when the meeting first opened, Jared does the roll call. We vote on the agenda and the minutes. We know we got a quorum. After that, and then we go into the board meeting. We know that we have a quorum. But by the time we finish with the reports, we don't know if we got a quorum. And then people step in and talk for 20 minutes, and then they want us to just vote and not have a roll call vote. And we can't do it.
That's why I'm suggesting that there's a limit and I'm not trying to minimize the importance of any one report. All of the reports are important. That's why we're in this, because we are passionate about our community. We care about what we're doing. We care about the constituents, our neighbors, you know, what's happening. But we also have to be mindful of everyone's time when we're in those meetings, especially when it's 9:30 and, you know, even though we're meeting virtually, but, you know, sometimes there are other things that folks have to take care of. If a parent has a child that they have to put that child to, I mean, I don't know. I mean, whatever, but life happens.
Well, the thing about it, and you know, if we want to, we can make a motion and we can vote to limit the report to, you can't give a report for 15 minutes. We could give each committee chair report 15 minutes. If we want to vote on that, if we want to institute that. Some need more time, some need less. So if we want to institute it, we can put it to a vote.
Am I going to be shot for that?
Well,
Well,
Not sure how
I think guns are illegal in New York.
I mean, you know, when we have items that need to be voted on, I don't know how I have no problem just saying, okay, my report as written, let's vote. But you know, that can't be done. People don't really read the stuff.
I think I think what
That's-
Maria
it
is
is
saying,
difficult.
if
It's
it's in a
difficult.
time frame, I think what she's saying, if we have a time frame on it, people are be more conscious and be more aware of the time that they're using.
I have maybe an idea how to cut down time. Mr. Chair, can I make a comment?
Yes,
Because, like, again, example, with last board meeting, some people bring up the same. One guy makes a comment opposing, let's say, the last meeting about this energy thing, and the same people, raise the same issues, and they're not adding to the comment. They're just repeating what the other member just said. Like I remember with this last meeting with the issue of this electric whatever it was, what they were planning to do on the roof of some building. The same board members always have a comment, and they don't add any comment. They rehash what the other board members say. So maybe we should make it quite. Maybe the chair should announce that. If you want to add to the comment or add something more, then make a comment. Just to discuss what was just mentioned, it just takes up time. It's just an idea, which
I understand what you're saying, Simon, but I don't know if the person bringing it up heard what the previous person said.
I know, but I'm just trying to make them aware because to cut down time and not to, prolong the meeting that board members should stay. We should try to, not just to keep on hammering, with issues and complaints if it was already brought up. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean to say. It's just a point. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just thinking ideas how to cut down on the time. All right, just a point.
I understand what you're saying, Simon, but we are all adults here, and we all should be more aware of the time, and we should realize that people sitting here, they have other obligations. Some people sitting here at 6:30 to 10 o'clock, they haven't even had dinner. We adults, we should be more conscious. We should be more conscious.
Yeah, but it's just a point that if the chair realizes the meetings used to start at 6:30 and they were finished by 8:30, now it's starting at 6 and we're still sitting there till 10 o'clock. And I personally, but I say most board members have obligations, and 4 hours, it's quite some time. And we even voted on it. 9 o'clock we have to be finished. This is voted on. So it's somehow taking, I don't know why, but taking much longer than it used to take. And I credit that because some board members just keep on hashing at any issue what comes up. The same people come, same comments, and they'll just repeat what the other members said. I'm just trying to make it more, let's say, interesting that some board members shouldn't leave the meeting when you get to the second half. I'm just saying, it's the point.
Well, like Maria said, we should put a time limit at the time that how long people can give reports. But we're not brave enough to do that. I don't know what else we can do.
Is it a matter of courage?
You say you hope you don't get shot.
Well, it's not that. It's that there are matters that warrant, a longer discussion. I just don't see how sometimes, I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody. Let me put it that way. I do not want to offend anyone. However, I do believe that we must be mindful of other people's times. And I say this because not for anything, but it was after 10 o'clock when there were folks in the general public that wanted to speak. And it was like 10:20. And it's like, is she still here? Is this person still here? Because that person was there since 6 p.m. waiting their turn. And they only got to speak at 10:15. And that's ludicrous. To have a person waiting for 4.5 hours almost to say a few things, a member of the public. It's unbelievable. And I remember the reason why we decided, and it was decided in a meeting, that the representatives or those folks that came from the electeds offices would have to speak last, because we knew that if we let them go on early on, that they would jet. In the middle of the meeting, they were out and they didn't get to stay to hear the rest of the board meeting and what was happening, in the community. So I remember that's why we did that.
Maria, no, Maria, but it was my understanding when we voted on, it was because we never had the quorum to get the committee voted, because I know Eric had brought it up. So I thought the reason.
That was a different issue, Sonia.
Oh, what?
The presenting of the elected official staff at the end was because they
I remember
left.
in the minutes, I remember as recording secretary, the issue was that we didn't get the quorum to conduct our business. That is why we
That was one
decided,
thing. That
right?
was
So
one
that
thing,
it-
but I have a clear memory.
No, I
That
know,
was
'cause
one
I read-
reason.
I read the minutes that we were there for recording, and I remember specifically how we had to vote that we would have our board meeting and have the committee reports prior to anybody speaking, because we would never have quorum when it came to voting. We're voting on issues for committees. That's what I believe, and that's what I remember.
And you may be right. And you may be right because, I may have some lapse in memory. But I also know that to have members of the public wait till 10:30 almost, practically 10:30, to say, to speak for 1 minute.
But people
It's
were
like,
sending
wow.
chats. Yeah, people were putting in the chats, when am I gonna speak? Is the public session over? And all that stuff. I get it all the time. We see it in the
Yeah,
chat.
it was close to 10:30 and I felt so
absolutely.
bad.
I agree.
But do we want to change the public session and let them speak sooner?
Maybe they should.
Yeah,
Maybe they
I
should
think,
get
yeah.
what they have to say, because they're not the board. Why should they have to suffer through all, and wait till 10:30 to say for 2 minutes?
2 minutes. Yeah, I would agree. The public session should be before the reports.
Yes. I agree. We should revisit it, because it is a problem, and it's sad when, it's not fair.
Okay, where do we want to place them on public notice hearing? I don't have an agenda in front of me, so.
We can put them before the committee reports, right? And then go into committee reports. What do you think?
Before the committee reports.
Yes, and then we'll do committee reports, and then we'll do the elected officials. Let them hear what people have to say.
Yes, right before the committee reports.
That's my suggestion.
Either that, or we could put them on before we go into the board session, right after we do the public session. I think that's where we used to have them. I'm not sure.
I agree with before the committee reports.
Yes.
It's okay with me.
Okay, so Marie, that's your motion. Phil, you second it?
I would second that. Yes.
Okay, everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes, I.
I
Okay, where's Simon?
I'm here, but I just, before we vote on it, I just want to.
There's a motion on the floor.
No, I know, but I want to make a point. My point is that maybe I'm wrong, but maybe, well, before we vote on it, when will it go into effect? Put it this way.
Next meeting.
Well, not next meeting, we mean 2 meetings, not in Trump. No, we'll be coming up to this
It
coming
will
meeting.
go
Do you have a valid reason for that, Simon?
March meeting notice.
It's in the agenda prior to the meeting, Simon. As long as it's there, people know what we're gonna have the order.
Oh, I see. But what I would suggest, a good idea, is that it should be on the agenda. What's coming first? Like, which is transportation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's going to be, committee reports? It's just an point. It's an idea. Before we vote on this, or we could do all of them separate at the same time.
Well, Simon, it's already been voted on, and it's already been voted on. The thing about it is,
I agree.
The thing about it is, what happens is, the committees, I've asked them to let me know who's giving a report. And I told them that they would give their report in the order that they sent it in. So I have a list of the order that they send it in, and I call according to that order. If you're the first one to send your report in, you get called first.
Oh, okay,
If you're the
okay,
last one to send your report in, you get called last.
got it. All right, fine.
So is
Okay,
there
so-
still a motion?
Well, we already voted on it. You know, and then Simon said he wanted to discuss it.
No, we voted already.
So does it have to now go to the full board?
No,
No.
Doesn't?
no.
The agenda.
We- It's the agenda. We can change the agenda.
Okay.
So we agreed that this item will go before the committee reports, and it'll be in that order for our next public hearing.
I agree. Yay. See my check?
Okay, is there anything else?
You're having a lot of fun with this reaction thing, Sonia.
Well,
Okay,
I
if
told you
there's
I had to
nothing
do it.
else.
Oh, yeah, I want to bring something up, Madam Chair. We're gonna have the event or the meeting member from our WebEx training. So that
What?
we can have all these wonderful buttons to raise our hand and do that stuff and have Q&As, or what's gonna happen? Because today, I see it differs from when we have the general board meeting. I see that we have these nice little reaction and raised hands, be polite. And we have them here.
I don't see that button that we saw when we did
Yeah,
the
I have my,
workshop.
here, you see me? Just look at my name. I just raised my hand.
I know the hand has always been over here to the right, but when he gave the,
But I'm
was you in the
saying that-
workshop? Was you in
No,
the
but the
workshop last week?
The gentleman said that it's depending on which one you do, and I got confused whether it's event or meetings. Maybe Marie can shine in regarding how it differs, because one does your Q&As, another because when I'm having the meeting, that's why sometimes I shout out because I don't have it available to me.
Well,
In
the
order-
screen he was using, it had like all the emojis like you have on Zoom.
I have
And
it
you
here
can
now.
raise your hand and it came up in front of your face. But we've always had the one under participant. Remember I told people about it when we first started? The little hand was over to the right.
But as a panelist, I couldn't do it. And I was
From-
saying that because I had to
from-
shout out when you brought it to my attention.
I'm sorry,
because-
from what I was understood and told, is that all of our meetings will be held as meetings. And those features should be operational.
This meeting, right? I'm looking at it, so it wasn't.
It's not in this one because this was set up as an event. All the
Yeah,
other,
but I
all
do
meetings
have
are
it.
gonna be as, all
have
meet,
it.
all
But they-
meetings, our meetings will be set up as meetings.
No, but I'm saying that I do have it because when I go back on my screen, which is great, I have the mute, the start video, the chats, the emoji, everything else. If you want to look at, so I have all that now. In last month's meeting, I had to shout out in order to speak because I didn't have anything available to me.
This hand has always been there. I told people about it in the beginning. Maria, you got something raised I never seen before. Look like a hand clapping.
It's the
Where Maria
applause
go?
thing. It's supposed to be an applause.
Where'd you find that at?
It's
On
under
the
the
side, on the
reaction.
right-hand side where there's the little raised hand, and right next to it, there's a little, I don't know what emoji that says
Oh, you click
feedback.
on the down arrow and give your feedback?
Yes,
So you got other symbols there?
yep. So you
Too
applause
fast,
or,
yes.
or
Too
I
slow,
could tell you that you're
applause.
going too fast.
Yeah, I see those. Yeah. I never clicked on that to see what it said. I never have time to click on anything when we're on these meetings.
The question is, how do you take it down? Because I've been trying to take it down.
I see
Again,
you got a
oh.
smiley face up there now.
Again, when you press it again, Maria.
It did.
It went away? You pressed it?
It went away, but she got a smiley face.
An emoji, wherever you do, you have to press it back again to remove.
Yeah, it didn't happen that way, but whatever. Figure it out.
Okay, we can't, we done pressed all the buttons we could press. Anybody else got anything to want to add? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion, second.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Enjoy, stay safe, stay
Stay
healthy.
safe, everyone.
Good. Have a good
Night.
night. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Thank you,
Good night.
thank you. Get home safe, Marie and Jerry.
I'm home. Oh, you mean Marie from the office? Oh, yeah, Marie, get home safe, and Jerry.
Okay,
Stay safe.
good night, everybody.
Good night.